Hello. Before we begin, I do want to preface here that if you're here for Bloodborne, you may have to wait a little while. You may have to wait a little while. I apologize. Also, I will not be reading chat throughout this, so I'll be making. Well, actually, shoot. Let me make a pinned comment in both of the chats. Will be. Let me just write this. Will be reading your after this. Okay. Out. You have to go in my freaking way. Okay. Pinned the message. Wait for Twitch. After there. Here, pin in the comment. Finally unpin after stream. All right, perfect. So, I think we're ready. Everything is good to go. Bigger Twitch chat here. All right. Let's do this.
What we do here is go back.
How's it going, everybody? I am the Duck Detective. What I do is solve cases and also fuck shit up. Yeah, that seems to be about right. Yeah, that sounds about right. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be learning about implosions. More particularly, actually, how do I start this? In 2008, there was a phrase that went around when the 2008 recession happened. Oh, these big banks that basically resulted in this recession, they're too big to fail. Well, here's the thing. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. And today, we're going to be examining the Vshojo implosion. But how did this happen? Well, we got to go back. Not only that we have to go back, we have to go really, really far back. But also, we're also going to be needing some very serious context. Oh, geez, that came out wrong. All right, let us do this. What is Vshojo? Well, Vshojo is one of the biggest American VTubing entertainment industry companies to ever exist. And they got their start in 2020. It was founded by Project Melody and also the Gun Run, who we will be talking about a little bit later here. However, I do need to preface some history here. 2020 was like a huge year when VTubing went from being this big niche within the eastern part of the world, like in Japan, Korea, China. It was exclusively there until 2020 when a lot of cascading things happened, and here we are today. As for Vshojo, they got started on November 24th, 2020, along with Project Melody. Not only that, they would introduce 2 new people involved, being Hijei Hajime, Fruit, aka Apricot, and then adding existing people such as Zentreya, Natasha Nianers, Silverveil, and then finally Iron Mouse, who we will be discussing a little bit in length later. So, this company got its start, and out of nowhere, it would end up getting an investment over around $11 million. And this was pretty huge. This company was a small VTubing corporation that has basically put its plants here, specifically in the US. Now, other VTubing industry areas, such as, Hololive and or Ninja Sanji, they basically were big corporations. The idea was, hey, these are big corporations. They're basically like music, what's the phrase here? Music companies that presents a new talent every time. Basically, VTubers are akin to idols. Japanese idols, really, but it can be literally just about almost anything. So, Vshojo were not like the very first ones in North America, but they were the ones that came out in front and basically took over. However, there are a few controversies I want to talk about even before we can get into the implosion itself. So, let's start from the top. Because in 2021, there was an incident that would end up taking place that would end up basically just kind of, how do I put this? Kind of predicts the future of it. So the first controversy involves Nuxtaku. It involves a few members of Vshojo. Essentially, back in 2021, they decided to open auditions for people to come in on Vshojo. However, there was a guy who wanted to basically pose as Vshojo in order to dox talent. And Nuxtaku decided to not only get in contact with one of the talents, but also with somebody that worked at Vshojo. And at the time, he asked, hey, I'm going to make a video of this. Do you mind if I post it to YouTube? Now, at the time, Vshojo said, oh, yeah, sure. Just go ahead. We got to tell them all, of course. So that's what he did. He made the video. There was just only one problem, though. Somehow, Vshojo would then 180 and just say, wait, we didn't approve this video. Nope. We don't have our hands on this. Nope. And later on, that would end up being deleted. However, Nuxtaku would end up coming out later to say that Vshojo shut them up, even though Nuxtaku himself is a weird character involved with this. Even though the problem is that they have a serious doxing incident that is about to take place. And now, thankfully, the CEO, Gunrun, would come in and just say, hey, I'm going to clear the air here. It just happens. And shit like this happens. He ended up apologizing. And then we all moved on. Nothing else happened after that. Well, actually, 2 things happened. And they all are like one-on-one. And we're going to return to these ideas later. So, in 2023, Vshojo would have a weird year where they would be at the bottom of the barrel to suddenly being one of the top favorite companies out there. This all got started with a little video game called Hogwarts Legacy, a video game about Harry Potter that is made by a woman who I want to punch in the face. So, Silverveil would play this game, basically caught heat for it, and, well, we'll go back to this little heat later, because, yes, it was a harassment campaign that took place, even though it's a bit of a different story to them. I don't want to even go into it, but it was later on in April that both Silverveil and Vebe would end up leaving. Well, not Vebe. She calls herself Vey now, but You get the point. Along with Natasha Nianers, they would end up just leaving. And their reasoning at the time was, well, we just read the contract that Vshojo has provided us. We hired a lawyer, and we just decided, yeah, contract's not for us. We're just going to walk. This was the lowest that Vshojo has got, because those three are like the biggest talents, including Vey, who would end up being like multi-viewed, may I add. But a new beginning would end up happening later on. And this would take place only a few months later when they added Hinya the Genius. They would end up picking up a few Ninji Sanji people, like such as Murata Khan, K9 Kiro, and Michi is another one that would end up being added in 2024. And basically, Vshojo continued what they were doing. But there is one event that I want to talk about, though. There's one event that I do need to talk about before we can get even into the meat of it, you know? So, it all started with a subathon made by Iron Mouse. So, Iron Mouse is one of the biggest streamers on Vshojo. Hell, you can make the argument that Iron Mouse is one of the best, is one of the biggest talents that came out of this agency. And for the last few years, she's been doing these subathons. And in 2024, she did her biggest one yet. She broke records. She ended up basically breaking Kai Shinet's subathon record and ended up becoming #1. Now, don't worry. Kai Shinet came back in. He basically put up a new record. Records are meant to be broken. But she made a lot of money. There was only one problem, though. She has made enough money to give to the IDF. Now, okay. I don't mean the Israeli Defense Force. I mean the Immunity Deficiency Foundation, which is a charity that Iron Mouse, along with her best friend, Connor, aka Sea-Dog VA, it's a charity that they work for. It's a charity that they make a lot of money. And if you ever get to see their streams, they will basically they would end up saving money. For example, Connor does this bike-a-thon every year where he would bike across Japan in order to raise awareness for the IDF and raise money for that foundation. They basically made, I think as of right now, over about close to $3.5 million given to the IDF, which is insane. And Iron Mouse's latest subathon, she gave money to the IDF. So how does that work? Well, because she is being paid by Twitch, Vshojo has to be the one that will come in first, take the money. Then they just need to, like slice it up, give it all the way out, and basically just separate all that money out. And it was a big success. I think this was the height of Vshojo. That was the height. But get ready for the bigger they are, the harder they fall. In 2025, it all started with, oh shit, I think I fucked this up. Well, anyway, So, our story really begins back in April 28th, 2025, when Murata Khan was announced, hey, we made the difficult decision of firing Murata Khan. I do believe this is a firing rather than like some type of like, oh, we're just letting her go and all. Now, this reeks of getting fired type energy. But Murata Khan is a widely popular, she was one of the former Ninja Sanji streamers turned independent. She's currently independent, and she also just got a new talent agency, so this wasn't shocking. However, gotta keep going though. Their next firing, Giga. About a month later, on June 25th, Giga would end up parting ways with Vshojo. And at the time, she would end up basically explaining, hey, I kind of want to bring back control into this whole thing. I want to bring, everything back to order, bring some sense of order into my life. No hate towards Vshojo. However, I signed an NDA. Expect NDA being kind of a theme here. However, I don't think that. However, I believe the NDA is void now because of what happened just before I got on. But let's keep going, because one more person would end up leaving. One of their other big talents being Zentreya. Oh, wait a minute. What the fuck? This is... God damn it. I knew I fucked up somewhere. God damn it. The fucking find... Son of a bitch. I am going... Yeah, fuck this company, man. Like, Jesus, tap dancing Christ. Let me find it here. How the fuck did I fuck this up, man? Like, I literally fucked this up. Somehow, somewhere. Where is it? 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 God damn it, where is it? I know it's here. I know it's somewhere. I know it's here. Come on. I know you're here somewhere, because I did one fuck up here and everything else. Oh, Jesus Christ, we're in June. Apologies, I'm waiting here for a while. Give me a second. Here. No, wait, that's the Giga one. No. Here we go. So, that is when... Okay, I gotta redo that. So, that is when Zentreya left. And this took place during a 30-day subathon that she was doing, and she ended up announcing, hey, I'm leaving on July 11th, 2025. I'm gonna go independent now. And so far, you start to see a pattern here. Like, look at this. This was 3 of the biggest talents that just ended up leaving in a span of months. Not only that, there were people who worked for Vshojo also ended up leaving. Including Mewtwo-Den, who was basically the operations manager, who would end up leaving as well. Panini is the talent manager that also ended up leaving. And you might be thinking to yourself, what the fuck is going on here? Well, I have an answer for you. I'll tell you what happened. And I think I'll let her explain it myself, rather than the other way around. Give me a sec while I put on the audio. There we go. I think I'll let Iron Mouse explain it as best as she can, because I think her explanation makes sense. Because
I am leaving Vshojo. Unfortunately, I recently found out that for the past couple of months, I have been misled by Vshojo. With the information that I currently have, I believe that I am owed a significant amount of funds, which I have not been paid. And most importantly, the thing that hurts me the most is that the Immune Deficiency Foundation, which is the most important charity to me, and also the reason why I am here today, is owed over $500,000 from Vshojo.
Yep, you heard that right. Iron Mouse on July 21st, 2025, announced that she's leaving. Why? 2 things. 1, she is owed a lot of money. But also, secondly, Vshojo mishandled $500,000 that was supposed to go to charity. That's how insane it got. However, oh wait, no, not however. But here's the thing. And there's a reason why she's pissed about this. Iron Mouse herself is a sufferer of immune deficiency. And she has to have that money to not only pay for her medical expenses, she has to have blood transfusions, which essentially mean that she has to basically go through these blood transfusions. So if you do see the words donate plasma all over the place, the reason why is because she suffers from it. She recommends almost everybody, even her Twitch chat, to donate blood, because that's the only way that's keeping her alive and keeping her healthy, for God's sakes. And all it took was one company to fucking ruin it. And this would end up spreading to Twitter, where a lot of fucking stories would end up taking place that would end up changing this company from being one of the biggest success stories in VTubing to now one of the most hated companies in history. Ooh, boom. So, after she posted this video, she would then say, "To my community, I love you all dearly and thank you." Now, as you can see from the comments, they supported her. They love this. The big bad wolf in this situation, Vshojo. They mishandled $500,000. And this is technically charity fraud. Charity fraud so bad. It was so bad that many people are kind of comparing this to the time the completionist would end up being accused of that, and then it turns out that he did basically mishandled charity money. Technically, this is a crime. Not only is this a crime, they let down Iron Mouse herself because she's also a sufferer of immune deficiency. But it gets even worse. It gets even worse. Here's Shy Lily, because the good thing I trusted my gut feeling when Vshojo tried to recruit me. Their contract was riddled in red flags and basically legal robbery. This makes me sick to my stomach. Please, if you can, support Mouse and the IDF. So, also, I kind of forgot to mention this. There is a Tiltify link right here. I do need to open up that link later because I'm giving her a good sum of my money so that I can end this on a positive note, of course. But now we'll get to more of the horror stories of the recruiting a little bit later here, because this is where things get even weirder. This is Shibuya Kaho. I hope I say that name right. I apologize if I butcher that name. So to kind of explain who she is, she's basically a content creator, published author. She lives in Japan, and she often works with Trash Taste, a huge anime podcast. She would end up coming forward and saying this person moved from a noted VTuber company to another as a staff last year, bragging about his new income. He thrusted me a few of his new business cards to give me my good contacts. I found the action obnoxiously rude, but maybe he was too young and friendly to know better. This motherfucker wanted to meet up for tax advice. May I also add that Koyo is a former JVN star. Because I'm a native in Japan and I hired an accountant, I was asked to have dinner in his area, which was quite far from me. Splitting the bill, that day I got convinced I didn't like the guy. Yet, because I loved the talents he worked with, I was only secretly hoping he would lose his job one day. Recently, I heard another creator that he was showing photos of VTubers' real selves while revealing their personal info like marital statute. I now wanted to find a way to warn other employees. Today, I just learned the most despicable shit the company has done to their talent. Don't know if he's involved with it, yet all my personal grudges is nothing compared to such a betrayal. Sometimes, unfortunately, managers or agencies can be talent's worst enemy. Please always support the talent first. She's mentioning Vshojo here. Now, obviously, she can't say the company because in Japan, there's this very notorious defamation law where, let's just say, I go out of my way and say that, I don't know, person A, hey, person A, you're a pedophile. And they can sue me just because of just a statement without any evidence, even if there's even evidence. So that's why she kind of censor it. Hold on. Now, I want to focus on one thing here. Recently, I heard from another creator, he was showing photos of VTubers' real selves while revealing their personal info. So, one of the big things when Vshojo started was they want to keep the individuals that are behind these talents private. And if you have a guy who's spreading info around, that is a big red flag. They also say back into this day right here that with Iron Mouse, she mentions that the reason why that she joined Vshojo was to also keep her anonymity intact. And this guy, now thankfully this is from the Japanese branch. We'll get to more of the Japanese branch later. So basically, this company was fucking up, and it even gets even worse. Here's Jenna Lynn Mowry, who's also a cosplayer / Twitch streamer. Speaking of Vshojo, I remember one AX anime expo. I was at an after party, and a certain someone was trying to flex how he could arrange private meet and greets with the creators behind the models. Excuse me. Never sat right with me because do these creators even know you're exploiting / treating them like party favors? And this gets even worse. So here's Mewtwo Den. He would end up leaving, and you think maybe he has something to do with this whole thing. No, he came forward and was like, nah, bro, what the absolute fuck? And adding Gunrun, who is the CEO of the company. And this was even news to him that he mismanaged $500 of charity funds. But let's keep going. Here's an apparel company by the name of MRange. They go, sorry, Vshojo fam, although we can't say much, there was an instance after our successful collaboration which involved copying and tracing our work. While it pales in comparison to what others are experiencing, it hurts very much at the time in which the fans and all the best. Basically, oh wait, this is just an apology. Well, which is still good. This is still good, by the way. And tracing, though, that's a big accusation. So in the art world, they will slit throats if you are an artist and you do tracing. They would hate you for that. But oh no, we're not even done yet. We're not even done yet here, because Case on here comes in with the iron chair, because guess what happens here? During day one, she would end up seeing this shit, and she decides, now all the other towns, they're signed under NDA. Kason, she's not that motherfucker. She wants to grab the iron chair and whack it over the head. So she decided to talk to the Japan CEO, and here's what happens.
I quit Vshojo today.
はい
Vshojo 辞めます今日。
はい。
はい、31日予定でしたけど今日辞めます。I quit.
Yep, she quit. She said it right to the CEO's face. Now her situation is intriguing. She was not been paid. She hasn't been paid since September of 2024. Hasn't been paid. And she decided to go to JP. And guess what happened? You want to hear some lore drop here, ladies and gentlemen? The Japanese studio, the Vshojo Japan, they're doing okay. We have money. We're floating just fine. Okay. And Kason here was like, that's true, but where's my money? Where is my money? And she ended up basically calling the CEO and going like, hey, why can't I get my money? Simple. They have to wait until whoever's in California to approve it. So she couldn't even get her money. And right there is her literally going to his face saying, I quit. Such a Giga Chad fucking moment, right? But that's not all. That's not all. there might be a reason of where that money went to, that $500,000. Because that CEO, that Japanese CEO, let me read what's right here. Today, Iron Mouse released a I'm leaving Vshojo Deyo. He said, like you, is owed money from Vshojo. And there is money meant for a charity that Vshojo did not pay for on our behalf, amounting to over $500,000, plus, in case on here, plus simply the embezzlement, isn't it? Embezzlement? Well, the question becomes, where did the money go, right? That's true. I believe that it may have been used for operational costs. That's embezzlement. That is embezzlement right there. That is embezzlement. But it gets even worse. Because in 2024, and this is the reason why I'm making this. So in 2024, they had an open audition call to the wider VTubing area that, hey, we want to bring you on to Vshojo. And there has been 3 different people that won that audition. Now, I did audition for this company. And you know what's even worse? I never got like a email back from them. Now, that's totally fine for some, but as somebody who did a class in film festivals, for the record, I'm a film major, by the way. So when you have to reject like a film that you're proposing for a film festival, you have to send them a letter that states why. And basically it's pretty simplistic. So it's like, hey, we saw your movie. We were very intrigued by it. However, we're not going to be using it for this festival. However, we encourage you to continue creating, and hopefully the next time that you will submit, we hope we hear back from you. Something as simple as that. But now that I see it now, it just seems fucking strange that they never sent one out. They never sent one out. They never sent one out to me. They never sent out ones for people who basically put a lot of effort into that audition. And it's just, now looking back at that, it made me feel like as if I'm rubbed the wrong way here. Because I would love to have like a rejection letter. A rejection letter is like a fucking motivator, man. That's like a motivator to try harder. Like some who have worked their whole lives getting that rejection, that's also fine. However, it really pains me that this company didn't even do that. And I'm a little bit pissed. And now with these auditions, and I'm probably seeing it from a different point of lens, they're not looking for the diamond in the rough VTuber or someone incredibly small who has the potential. No, fuck those motherfuckers. We're going for the big league guys, and we're going to try and bring them in. That's what they were doing. And it fucking pisses me off there. Now, do I blame the talents that did get in? Well, no. But, oh shoot, I did have it right here. Well, we'll skip over that in a moment. So yeah, I'm only now seeing this, I'm pissed. I used to be a fan of this company, and now they ruined it for everyone. They ruined it. They fucking blew it. They didn't have a steady stream of income that came into the company. And there is a reason why later. I have a Charlie video that we're going to watch here in a little bit, but we got to go down the witness list. Because next, we have Vey. So, Vey was one of the former members. He was recruited on back in, I think, 2021. Excuse me. And she would end up saying, looks like nothing changed between 2023 and 2025 in terms of how org's management moves. LMFAO couldn't and still can't say shit because of their god-awful NDA that I had to sign. I legally can't badmouth the company, but at least everyone now knows why we left. Referring to Silvervale and also Vey both leaving, because these two are like best friends forever. Let me move on over here because this gets even crazier. My heart goes out to all the communities affected by this recent news. I know it's surprising and heart-wrenching for a lot of people. There's a lot I wish I could say, but I signed a pretty aggressive NDA. They made my mom sign one too. All I can say is that it's been bad for a long time, and I warned everyone as much as I could. It was so worse than you could imagine. The VTubers make the agencies, not the other way around. To take advantage of those who trusted you is vile. Never derive your value from an agency. Believe in yourself and your content, because you're worth so much more than you can imagine. Thanks, Silver. Which leads us to Natasha Nyanez, who would end up saying this because this shit floored me, by the way. This shit floored me. Oh, hold on here. There we go.
So I could get out of there. So that was like one of the glimmers of hope. I was like, you know what? I went through all that, but at least I'll get paid. And wouldn't you know it? Like, one of the many things that they have failed to pay me for over the course of literal years was that stream, the one that I got swatted during. It just, like, it felt like a kick. So I could get out of there.
So what happened was, so back in 2020, I think it was like 2021 or 2022, Neanners got swatted. She got swatted during a sponsored stream. And she would end up basically going like, oh shit, this is terrible. Well, at least I'm going to get my sponsor money. Vshojo didn't pay her. They didn't pay her after she got swatted. So let's review here for a moment. They can't protect the identities of their talents because she got swatted. They basically told her that they can't even pay even a sponsor stream. What the fuck? And here's where it gets even worse. So I mentioned earlier that there was a controversy that led up to Silvervale leaving the company. So Silvervale came forward and she would end up saying that now she was part of the infamous Hogwarts Legacy harassment campaign. Now, when you're getting harassed online, there is a chance that she might get doxxed. But this is where it gets even worse. She would end up going to Gunrun, who is the CEO, and basically she never got support for it. Not only did she receive no support, Gunrun called her during that conversation. He said she was a disappointment and harmful to the brand and an inconvenience. Basically, he was like, yeah, I'm not fucking helping you. I'm not fucking helping you. You played the wizard game here. I'm not going to be bothered by that. Not only is that disgusting, this is hideous. But let's keep going. Let's keep going, because there are more. Here's another one. This is from a person by the name of Phoebe Chan. And she originally wanted to become a VTuber, part of Vshojo. Guess what happened? She was one of the undebugged talents that basically she auditioned last year, got in, basically was doing everything, and 2025 will be the year that they'll debud because she got in, won the job. But there's one problem. There's only one problem. They never debudded. They never did anything. He never did anything. Yeah. And also, she has to get assets for the streams. Right here. Aside from a logo and a few art pieces, no stream overlays, no BGMs, no art and rigging for my new model. Basically, she was supposed to get a brand new model along the way. That's like a standard when you just join a company is, hey, we'll pay for your model, new overlays, all that kind of shit. You know what happened? Yeah, we never got you the money. We didn't get the money. Basically, the dream went down the fucking drain. I want all of you to know that my heart and my mind and body are all exhausted, and it keeps hurting to entrusting my dreams to different companies and different opportunities, hoping that all the hard work you put in every day will blossom into something beautiful, only for it to fall short for one reason or another every time. But even if it's been every time up until now, I'm hoping for what comes next. So I'm not giving up, not even that. I'm actually proud of her for that. So she was a part of a brand new wave, but there are 3 others to, well, actually, no, not 3, 4 others that we have to go through. Here's one of them, Pia Pie. She was originally one of the people that got accepted in, and basically she was happy that she got into Vshojo. Only one problem though. She had to turn down multiple opportunities because I believe in this one, and I don't regret having any hope or wishing for stars, and I was so ready, and I still am. What hurts the most, though, is losing a chance to a debut alongside the most credible and talented, kind and hardworking girls I ever met, and I didn't join just for myself. I joined to share the dream that we all have. Basically, she also went through the same thing as Phoebe. Basically, she joined. She was supposed to get a new model. They had to get new overlays. That never happened. Same with Tori Ormin, who also was supposed to be in that next gen, and also Beery Bug, a Ladybug VTuber, who would say this: I know some people have noticed that I've been spotty with streams lately. The reason is actually because I was supposed to join Vshojo this year. A lot has happened, and over a half a year after signing, I requested to have my contract voided. I won't go into detail, but it was an opportunity that I was excited about, and I'm sad that I won't be able to bring you everything I had in mind. I'm sorry for all the delayed projects and ideas I excitedly talked to you guys about. I've been working on them by myself slowly. So, to the few people of Vshojo I was able to talk to, thank you for giving a chance to a bug like me, which is even bad. But here's even the worst part. Here's Momo Mischief, another big VTuber. She gets like 1.5k viewers a stream. And she would also say, hey, I guess I'm glad now. Considering back in 2019, I spent almost 2 years and a half spiraling about my self-worth in the entertainment world and in my friendship, all because I signed a 2-year contract with Vshojo. I spent a bunch of money and time to prepare, only for them to turn around and tell me they were reevaluating their business and that I could reapply in the fall when they are doing tryouts. I hope all Vshojo talent get what they're owed, and hearing all this is heartbreaking. Shame on Vshojo. That's insane. And here's even the most insane part. Remember how they brought on a lot of Ninja Sanji content creators on? Well, here's another one. Then Phantom was formerly a Ninja Sanji creator, and she would end up posting a video. And I watched this video, essentially to give you the bullet points. Mint, new gun run. They basically had this conversation, and she proposed this idea. Hey, what if we launch an idol group with Vshojo, and that way we can finally get some type and sense of a money flow into the company. And they ended up not only wasting Mint's time, but her money, and also keep pushing this project back. It's insane. It's literally insane. It's literally insane. But here's even the worst part. So Rima has been trying to compile everything. Basically, it involves a lot of notes here, but this is also related to Vey. So Vey here. Oh wait, let me fix this real quick. I apologize. Pop. Okay. So all right. Vey, the narrative Vshojo sheep went with was our boyfriends made us, and we were greedy on. We're greedy on, meaning that they're laughing. So they didn't know we didn't get paid for sponsors between 2021 to 2023. Here's another one from Vay. With how long it took them to pay me back, with my lawyer pestering them 24/7 about it, I bet they used the other town sponsors' monies for it, like getting a loan to pay for a loan. Nice. Here's another. Part of their leave terms was announcing both me and Silver at the same time because they didn't want to cause a panic. They wanted people to think that we're leaving as friends, even though our decision was individual and we haven't spoken about it. Basically, even when they left, she didn't know if Silver is going to be leaving. They didn't know if Silver is going to be leaving. They didn't know that Natasha and the others would be leaving. So this was a massive clusterfuck here, which is fucking insane, man. Hold on, I just need to this and boop. But we're not even done yet. We're not even freaking done yet. But, well, let me see here. Well, there were some memes and all, but overall, I think the consensus is this. Vshojo has owed hundreds and millions of dollars. They also have mismanaged 500,000 of those dollars into a charity. They also basically were terrible with their management when it came to the talents. What the fuck is this? Well, let me pull the mask off here for a moment. I want to bring in Charlie here. I want to bring in Charlie here for a moment. Well, let's bring in Charlie here for a moment. Because in this video, he ends up basically speaking the silent part out loud. Vshojo was never a VTubing company. Do you know what it is? It isn't that. What if I were to tell you that Vshojo is exactly like an MCN? What is an MCN, you might be asking me? Well, an MCN is a multi-channel network. And how it works is, it's basically an agency that has a collective of creators, and basically it works as like an agency that also pays them, the creators. This business model has continuously failed. And it has an origin on YouTube, of all places. But I think I'm going to let Charlie explain here for a moment. Let me figure.
Subs and their Twitch revenue and their Vshojo even be handling that money in the first place? Why wouldn't it just come directly from Iron Mouse, since it's her that Iron Mouse is allegedly...
Let me find it. I kind of forgot to look for it.
Giga is actually with us at Cheeky now.
Oh yeah, that's also another thing. Charlie picked up Giga to work with Cheeky Soap.
We're not like a VTuber agency. That's not what I'm trying to get across. Our soap. She really likes our soap, Cheeky Soap. So she's partnered with us at Cheeky, and she is an absolute sweetheart. That's what I was trying to get across. The point is, some like really good people have been leaving Vshojo, and now Iron Mouse have dropped this video about some very alleged scummy practices here at the Vshojo corporate level, and I don't know how Vshojo recovers from it going forward. They haven't made a statement yet. It's still a little too fresh as of me making this video. I'm very curious what they're going to...
Don't worry, they did made a statement. We'll be breaking it down here in a bit.
Say about it. If I had to spitball, I would imagine that their next play will be donating that money to...
Oh, son of a bitch. God damn it. I did not play the King of the Hill episode. Pretend that you didn't see that.
The charitable foundation. I imagine they donate the $515K to the Immune Deficiency Foundation, or whatever the exact number was. I bet they'll do that to desperately try and save face. I don't think the community will respond well to it, because it's very clear that they're just doing it now because of the public pressure that's being exerted on them. I don't know how they move forward with a good reputation. I don't think all of their talent's going to leave overnight. I imagine a lot of those in fact, I'm confident a lot of those contracts lock them down for quite a while with like some non-disparagement clauses. And
For the record, all the talents that are part of Vshojo, they all have left. They all left.
There and everything, like I bet there is a lot of things at play where the talent won't be able to leave even if they really want to, and I can only hope that the community here doesn't start attacking the Vshojo talent for staying.
Which also reminds me as well, please do not attack the talents involved with Vshojo.
Because I imagine in a lot of cases they don't have a choice. Now, that's kind of the situation in a nutshell, but I want to dive deeper into agencies as a whole.
Here we go. This is what I was looking for.
And I know people like to talk about VTubing as a whole, like it's some kind of niche that's not mainstream. That couldn't be further from the truth. It is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and it is so lucrative. And these agencies have swooped in and made sure they are the ones getting the lion's share of that money, and they'll kind of trickle down, drip feed a little milk from their titties to the talent that's under their umbrella. And what's even more disgusting is they fed people shit and gave them a taste for it, an acquired palate, normalizing their greed, where the talent, the ones that are actually gathering the audience, you know, the actual VTubers, they don't see most of the money that they bring in. The agency does. That includes merch. That includes their Twitch subs. That includes YouTube revenue. Pretty much any piece of the pie that has dollars, doubloons in it, the agency is the one that's got their fingers in it, and the VTuber gets pieces of it, tiddlywinks. And I think it is so ass backwards. It has always rubbed me the wrong way. So I've always talked very negatively about VTuber agencies, much to the chagrin of the VTuber audience. The audience that watches VTubers is very loyal to their favorite creators in the space. So
this is
they
true.
get very upset when the 5'6" Florida man Neanderthal shoots spitballs at the agency that represents their favorite VTuber, because the community, like the relationship between the agency and the VTuber, is one that's supposed to be built on like a tight connection, like this partnership, almost like a family. But nothing could be further from the truth. It's about as much of a family as like the prison warden is to the prisoners. I just think it is completely unacceptable the way a lot of these agencies treat their talent. I also think a lot of people have been completely misled by them on the industry as a whole, where they act like there's only one path to success when it comes to VTubing, or at least they did. Not so much these days. It's starting to kind of get a little more clear that you don't have to sign with them, but for the longest time, it was as if there was only one path to success in the space, which was signing with an agency, where they basically give you a career. They grow you through their network. They give you all the tools to grow, but they basically own you. And I know the argument
As exactly as he said years ago, if you really want to get yourself out there, joining those agencies was insanely important. And now we're entering a new era thanks to this implosion here.
a lot of people make is, well, they gave you your career. You do owe them like 90% of the money that you generate. That makes sense. Without them, you were nothing. And I just think that is completely delusional. I think you've been brainwashed to think that. It's a little different nowadays, where so many people are doing really well independent. There are so many independent VTubers that are crushing it, and a lot of formally contracted talent for agencies have left to be indie and are still doing really well. So it's being
A great example of that would be Dokibird. Dokibird was a part of Ginji Sanji. She ended up having this insane fallout, which involved her getting fired after an apparent suicide attempt. And sadly, it is a true one, because it turned out it was 2 suicide attempts. And look where she is now, as an independent creator.
proven that you don't need these agencies to succeed as a VTuber. And I understand, like, you know, they do help speed up the growth of the career, because then they just plug and play to like their network and just have eyes on you by default. But from everything I've seen, it just never really seems worth the trade-off. Like, you never get a better deal. So like, let's say you start with them and then you explode and become the biggest VTuber in the world. All the ones I've seen, the contracts don't scale with that success, so you still are locked into a bad deal. and now
Yeah.
the agency just makes a killing.
And that's the problem here. And that's why there are a lot of these big VTubers, a part of these agencies, are leaving now. It's because when they first joined, they have a not so bad contract when you're a much more smaller streamer. However, once you blew up and become huge, it becomes a terrible deal at that. That is the problem here. But I think I must have overlooked here. He mentions in this video that VTuber agencies are very similar to MCNs, multi-channel networks. And let me kind of expand on it myself here. So multi-channel networks are basically like Maker Studios or Define Media. You may have never heard of these guys. That is because they both imploded. They owed millions upon millions of dollars to creators, and basically they would run out. And the reason why is pretty simple. They don't have let's say you're trying to build like a dam. You're trying to build like the dam. The MCN is a dam, but they also wanted to release as much water as possible to keep the money, like the water being like the money, keep it flowing, in order to pay the people that work at this dam. But there's only one problem. It's a dam. It holds up way too much water, and little water comes out of it. That's what these MCNs are. They're essentially a dam. They are not like, they don't provide as much money as they can, and sometimes they have to close it down on a hot day like this. Which leads me to the next part. Now, I have some good news with it, but we'll get to that good news in a moment. I just need to find... Yes. They have apologized. They have apologized. Yeah. So right before I went on stream, they announced this. Right before 11 a.m. Vshojo has failed, and I've mismanaged... this is from Gunrun, by the way. Let me restart that. So this is from Gunrun. Vshojo has failed, and I've mismanaged the company into the situation you're all witnessing. So today, I am sharing the difficult news that Vshojo is shutting down, and I take full responsibility for the decisions that led us to this point. I've been doing everything I can to fundraise and right the ship. Don't you mean ride? Or sail the ship? Oh my god, this English, goddamn. And right the ship these past few months. But despite my efforts, we are in a worse position, and those I care about are now paying the price. Over the past few years, we raised around a mil. God damn, I am fucking dyslexic today. We raised around $11 million to pursue a bold, talent-first approach in VTubing, prioritizing creators and communities over short-term profits to achieve long-term stability. Our funding went directly to our creators through generous splits, debut investment, infrastructure, concerts, events, and staffing, all designed to support them. We also wanted talent to own their IP, which we knew was a unique creator-first approach for an agency. However, despite all our efforts, the business failed to generate the revenue we needed to sustain that model, and eventually we ran out of money. Additionally, I acknowledge that some of the money spent by the company was raised in connection with talent activity, which I later learned was intended for a charitable initiative. This motherfucker didn't know the $500,000 was supposed to go to charity. He just admitted here that he committed charity fraud. At the time, we were working hard to raise additional investment capital to cover our costs, and I firmly believe, based on the information available to us, that we would be able to do so and cover all expenses. We were unsuccessful in our fundraising efforts. I made a decision to pursue funding, and I own its consequences. I am deeply sorry to all the town staff, friends, community members who believed in our brand. You did not deserve this. Yeah, but let's take a look at that phrase again. which I later learned was intended for a charitable initiative. You admitted to charity fraud here. You just admit to it. You literally, oh shit, did it? Oh, never mind. It's, wait, what? What's going on? Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought my Twitch stream went down, but we're fine. This dude admitted to charity fraud here. He admitted to charity fraud here. No questions asked. You just admitted to charity fraud. And yes, there were some memes throughout it. Like, for example, I like this post right here from this guy. Oh, let me, here. Did we watch a company implode overnight? Yes. Yes, you did. You did watch a company implode overnight, which are these people who would end up leaving. There's this meme right here I actually enjoyed because I love smiling friends. So, give me a second right here. Oh, geez.
I am so sorry, Gwimbly.
It's just wrong, man. Mr. Millipede was like a damn brother to me. And I'm gonna say what nobody else is willing to say. America has a fentanyl crisis.
True. America does have a fentanyl crisis. What other memes? Oh, I love this. I love this meme. Twitter, the IRS, Iron Mouse, the FBI, the state of California. Vshojo right in the middle right there. Oh, that's fucking funny. Classic meme. So, but I love this one. This is from a former staffer there, and I love the translation here. I'm officially unemployed now. Let's go! Time to game like crazy. Yeah! These are some good memes. Some of the memes from this situation are banger. Can I say they're all banger? They're all bangers. But this situation is depressing. The situation itself is depressing. Lots of $1 million lost. What do we do? Well, it's simple. And this is the best part of this whole tragedy. When Iron Mouse announced, when she posted this video back here, she announced a Tiltify, which is basically a fundraiser. And oh my God, it's like $1.2 million now. Holy shit. Yeah, she raised $1.2 million. And let me see some of the top people here. Oh my God, who is this anonymous character here? Well, I know of Taiga right here, but an anonymous individual will, let's read this. So you have an anonymous individual that donated 23,000. Taigaholic raised like 1,700. There's a guy by the name of Lone Wolf. I did like this one, for example, the 1450 Doki Bird. She originally donated $10,000. Mint Phantom would donate $10,000 in 1 cent. She ups it by going $10,000.69. I like that. I like that a lot. Some other people like Nimi Nightmare, who's a VTuber who recently announced that she's getting married, by the way. Badass of her. Ludwig, Apricot, Sayu, Connor, big names in the entertainment industry, basically all came together and donated their money for this. And you know what? You know what? You know what, chat? You know what, chat? I want to end it this way. Other, we're going for $69. Oh, there we go. $69. I'm contributing 69. I'm contributing 69. Oh, did that show up by any way? By the way. Okay, good. Okay, good. I guess we'll just go to my room here. Yeah, I'm just gonna put in my personal name, the Kaiser _3. Yes. No. Add a comment. Add a comment. Shit, what comment should I make? And you know what? This is the end of the whole thing, but you know what? Let me launch my comments here. Who came in here? Oh, Christian! Hey! How's it going? I'm so sorry that I couldn't get to you. I'm so sorry about that. I was being passionate. Give me a minute here. I do need to give like some monies out. So yeah. So I'm gonna be giving 69 doubloons to this whole situation. And yeah. Wait, should I provide a physical? No, I shouldn't give an act. Okay. Let me here, credit card. I need my wallet here. All right, how do I? Oh wait, it has my credit card info already here. Perfect. Okay. Let me do this. Oh, let me do some quick changes here. Make this good. Okay. $69, complete donation. There we go. $69. I've donated $69 to this foundation. Because I am pissed about this. I am pissed about this situation. But yeah, thank you for coming to my very first episode ever of the Duck Detective. I hope that you enjoyed my spiel for the last what was it, like, oh wow, we did this like over an hour. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Not bad at all. I think I should do this again somehow, but I wanted to be like a deconstructive breakdown. But no, I am not ending stream just yet. I am not ending stream just yet. We are going to be doing Bloodborne. And if you came over to watch this wonderful presentation I placed on, thank you so much. I'm actually bowing right now. Pretend that I'm like bowing. Thank you for watching my wonderful spiel of the Vshojo situation. It is a crazy situation. And if you want to stay around to watch some serious Bloodborne gameplay, stick around. Game is fun. However, I do need to cut off stream and set up for it. So give me like, I don't know, 2 minutes maybe. Anyway, thank you for watching. And if you're here to say Bloodborne, stick around.